What's going on, y'all? Not the real Will Smith and another for your mother. Why are we in a house right now? It is car talk time. So we gotta hit the cars. We gotta hit the cars. Alright? Come on, come here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Alright guys, today we simply just driving the Toyota. It's about 9 o'clock p.m. and today's car talk is simply just car basics. Everything that has a button or a switch, I'm going to explain that to you. This vehicle actually is very simple compared to my Buick. We can do that as well, but that is the basis of today. So let's take a drive. Alright guys, so it rained earlier. That's the reason why I didn't go out earlier. The ground is a little wet, so I'm not really driving the car hard or anything. I actually didn't even plan on taking this vehicle out, but I typically drive it at least once a week. It's an older vehicle, has high miles on it, so I just like the fluids to be ran through it so it doesn't potentially cause more issues. We also only have one headlight, so I'm not really going to be doing a car talk and driving. I'm actually heading to the car wash, so I will meet you guys there. Alright guys, this actually is not the car wash. I went to the car wash, but there's a lot of people there playing music and I didn't want to get demonetized. So I came to the park that's not too far from my home. There's people here, but you know, it's real chill and stuff, so that's cool. So for anybody who doesn't know, this is my 2007 Toyota Corolla S. I have a TRD tune on it, headers, exhaust. Used to have a turbo, but I took it out, right? Boom. But that's not the point of this video today. The point of this video is to show that even though it's an S model, it doesn't really have all the luxury features, so it's pretty simple besides like the performance mods that I've done to it. It's just like any other Toyota Corolla of the era that you would have received, right? So we'll start with the door, and we're going to actually go all the way around to this side. Alright guys, starting with the door, this actually, I have a crack on my door. My window doesn't roll all the way up, so I think that's from the rain. I definitely need to fix that so that my plastic doesn't fade. But you have your simple controls, automatic window controls, right? So the front driver, the front passenger, the rear, I'll say driver door, and the rear passenger, right? So literally left, right, left, right. The auto that you see here means that the window is automatic going down, but it's not automatic going up. So if you see I pull it up and let it go, it stops. But if I push it, it goes all the way down, right? I don't let it go all the way down because my window's a little janky, so watch this. Yeah, so we don't do that. All right, next to it, if you guys can see, is the lock and unlock buttons. Right? You can also manually do it. This car does have a feature though. If you open the door and you try to lock it, it's going to unlock itself, right? So that you don't lock yourself out. You can also close the door, lock it, and pull it open again, and it unlocks. This right here is to prevent the passenger or anyone else from rolling down the windows. So if you notice over here, I can roll down the windows. It's the same thing. Right? But if we come back over here and I push this button down, you see how it's red? It's actually on. I mean, it's off, but if you push it down, it's working. If I go back over here and I try to push this window down, it does not go up or down. The safety feature mainly used if kids are in the vehicle, you know, they touch everything. So it's a good little feature, right? For 07, everyone's been doing it, but yeah. I'm gonna push it back. I'm gonna roll this window back. Oh, what the heck is that? Okay, we're gonna keep this door locked. Next, guys, is your tachometer display. If you ever see that symbol, that's exactly what that means. So all tachometer means is it measures how fast your vehicle is going in miles per hour or kilometers per hour. It also displays your revolutions per hour or your RPM, right? How fast the engine is actually spinning. And on the left and right, the top and bottom on the right hand side is just how hot the vehicle is, your fuel, and all that. But we'll come back to this in a second. If you adjust this up or down, this light will dim and it'll get brighter. I'm actually going to cut the flash off on my phone so you guys can see it properly. Alright, so with the flash off, guys, this is the actual light. If I go back over here, you guys can't see the button, but just know the button's here. If I adjust it, go all the way down, it completely cuts off, right? If I turn it all the way up, you guys can see again, right? We're going to keep it at a happy median because I don't like it too bright personally for myself because it does like mess with my eyes. I actually broke my glasses, so it messes with my vision looking out the window when this is really bright. It kind of dims outside, so that's why I keep it at a median. Some people like it brighter, you know, obviously so they can see clearly. And then some people like it completely off. Some people just don't like to look at it. Some people actually already know how fast they're going and they don't need to see, you know. Manual drivers drive like that too, so it's a good thing. All right, next, guys, we have your mirror controls for the left mirror and the right one. I'm actually going to roll them down so that you guys can see what these buttons do. Rolling the passenger window down. All right, so if you notice, you have an L for left, right, an R for right, and it's actually directly in the middle. So if I were to move the mirror control, if you notice, it does not move, right? But if I go back and I push the left button in, and then I move the controls up or down, it adjusts. Left or right, it adjusts, right? Same thing for the right control. I'll push it back one click for the middle, one more click for the right, and I can adjust the mirror controls on this side. Nothing unusual about this mirror feature, but what I do appreciate is maybe you might adjust your mirror by accident. So if you keep it in the middle like it is now, you'll never have to worry about adjusting it by accident, you know. Right above this is your actual controls for your blower, so what blows out your hot or cold air, right? So in this Corolla or this model, this little silver button can adjust what direction it's going in from left to right, and this right here can show how much air you want to come out of the vents, right? So this box means no air at all. This means completely free air right here. So if I close it, as you guys can see, it kind of closes in the middle, cuts it out. But if you also notice, if I push it up, it opens all the way up, and you can see the air coming through. This right above it is the defroster vent, so it defrosts your windows on the left or right. And if you go all the way up here, that little strip right there, let me get you guys closer. That strip right there, see all of those vents right there? That's the defroster for your whole entire windshield. If we go back down here, I never really figured out what this means. Sometimes I've put in like a coin or two in there, you know, but it comes out. And if you look in there, you notice that there's some wires, kind of fuses, right? There's a second access port way under here. Sorry, way under here, if you guys can see. And well, that is your OBD2 scanner, but that is not what those wires are. OBD2 scanner is just how you check for codes and check engine lights if they do appear in your vehicle. But if you go way under here and you look, you guys can see the fuse box and the different type of fuses here. And that also has the wires coming from the fuse box back up to the top, in case I guess you need another access port, or if this actually needed to come out. I'm not sure there's true meaning, but that's what I've used it for when I've had to replace fuses in the past and get to wires, at least for me. This right here is security, right? It just means security for the vehicle. It's factory security, nothing special, spectacular. But this light actually comes on when the vehicle is completely off. key out of the ignition and the car is locked. So let me show you. So I'm going to turn the car all the way off. Take the key out of the ignition. And as you guys can see, the light is starting to blink, right? That means the key is not in the ignition. I'm going to lock it. And it's starting to blink again, right? It's the same thing. Whether the vehicle is actually locked or unlocked, because the key is not in the ignition, the security light will automatically come on, right? To prevent people from tampering with it, from stealing the vehicle, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you'll see certain vehicles, they'll have this little light, little dome looking thing right in the middle of this part of the vehicle. And it'll light up as well, like my Buick when the vehicle's off, so that you guys know, like, hey, the car's not running, you know. It's a security tamper feature. While the car is off, we'll continue. So I explained to you guys earlier that this is the tachometer. It's actually a display unit for many vehicles. Because my vehicle is older, I don't really have LED or anything spectacular. I do have this little thing right here though, right? So if I put the key back in the ignition, right? You guys see the outside temperature right there. You guys see the odometer reading. That's just the miles that is on the engine. You see this button right here. You see warning features such as the oil, maintenance required for your oil change. That's showing low oil. Check engine light if I had one. We're actually in accessory mode. Now I'll explain that in a second. That's why all these lights are on. You have your battery light right there. Then you have your seatbelt light right there. But if you noticed, when I first cut the vehicle on, you see that light right there. It looks like a little ball with a horse or something sitting on there. That is the airbag light that you've seen right there. So if that airbag light is ever on, one or two things is possible. Either A, your airbags have deployed, or B, your connection for your airbag is not properly in. And that can happen from a fuse, just you disconnecting the airbag from here. You might disconnect the airbag from here. Or your seatbelt might be disconnected down here. You could throw off a code. If we look back here, remember the revolutions per minute? That's your RPMs times 1,000, right? So red line for factory for this vehicle is actually 6,500, be right in the middle. But because of my tune, I can actually redline to 71 RPM. Miles per hour, kilometers per hour. This is what the US goes by. Overseas, they use kilometers per hour. We measure our speed on this side where the red is, right? Overseas, they measure it with the kilometers per hour on the inner parts, right? So if your car ever had to go overseas, you had to convert, you shouldn't have to worry about it. You can easily just pay attention to it right here. If I push this part in right here, you see that blue light? That is your high beam light. If you look outside, you can see high beams just make lights brighter, right? If you're on a country road or if it's hard to see at night. On this side, I actually can't show you because my car has been converted, but over here you would see an O/D sign. If you guys had a normal setup, not a setup like this, it would be a button right here for overdrive. Overdrive just has the car revving a little higher in case you're pulling, you know, a heavy load or your car is under load, you know, and you just need that power right there. Then that overdrive light would be on. Now this right here, this is your trip button. So what that means is if you're ever going on a trip and you want to record how many miles you're going, you can push it one time, goes to trip A, right? If you want to push it one more time, goes to trip B. If you push it one more time, it'll actually go back out and you go back to your odometer reading. If you ever want to reset your trip meter, if you want to start a new trip or whatever case may be, push it and you'll hold the button about 1-2 seconds and it'll reset itself. Over here, remember we explained hot and cold. This is how your vehicle measures how hot or how cold your vehicle is. It's typically in the middle for most vehicles, so you know everything is working fine. If your car is closer to cold, you can have a issue with your coolant system, and if it's hot, you definitely should not be driving your vehicle like that because you can have a bad sensor, might have a coolant leak or anything of the above. A little bit of air in the coolant system can definitely throw that off a whack. Down here is your gas, right? As you guys can see, I actually need to put some gas in here, but because this is my daily driver, I don't really drive it that much. right here where it says fuel door, there's a little arrow right there. A little trick for you guys. Wherever this arrow is pointing to is where the fuel door is at, right? So if it's to the left side, you know that you put gas on the left side of your vehicle. And if this button is to the right, you put gas on the right side. In newer vehicles, you'll see this little triangle on the left or the right side of the fuel symbol, right? And just to show you that this is true, if I open my door, fuel door is on the left side, right? Driver's side. Right. Now going back, you have two stalks on the left side of your wheel and the right side of your wheel. If you guys noticed, the button is actually set to off, right? If I turn it one time, and you notice, well, a little flash. Yeah. If you guys notice, it's a little light right here, right? I mean, a little ball. So off, on. This right here is just for your markers. That just means your left and right light will come on, but not your regular low beam, just your marker lights. I'll explain what that means in a second. And if you cut this all the way on, as you guys can see, your regular low beam's on. You guys remember from earlier, my low beams are actually, one's out, one's not, so that's why that's on. So, marker lights, we'll cut it back on to here and I'll show you guys. So, if we get out the vehicle, your marker lights are the lights that's on the side. Most people, lights of their vehicle for markers are actually orange, indicating that the vehicle is actually on and functioning, right? You have it for both sides. And if you go to the back of the vehicle, the regular marker lights will be on here as well. Back lights as well, just showing the vehicle's on. You have your license plate lights on here. If you notice here, it's actually up here to illuminate the license plate. And then you have it on this side as well. Now when I cut the switch one more click to the low beams, it actually will keep those marker lights on. That's just how all vehicles are set up. Like that. And if you notice here, where it says off, this right here is your fog light symbol. So if we go back out the car, and if I had fog lights, the fog lights would actually cut on here. So when you're in a low lit area or if it's really foggy, you typically use your fog lights, never your high beams, so that way you're not reflecting light back into your eyeballs. All right? So marker lights, low beams, high beams, fog lights, brake lights, turn signals, reverse lights, license plate lights. Now, as I explained earlier, guys, I don't have fog lights just because of the setup of my vehicle. So I actually took them out, so I can't really show you. But if you guys did have fog lights, then you guys would know that it is this here. You turn this on and it would work for you. This right here is your left and right turn signal. I would have to turn on the vehicle to show you guys. We'll turn it one click. If you push the whole stalk with your hand down, you notice your left turn signal comes on, right? And if you look outside, you see my left turn signal is blinking on that side. And if you go to the back of the vehicle, this turn signal is blinking, right? If you push it up one time, it goes away. If you slightly hold it just a little bit, it'll blink and you can let it off. Sometimes when I'm making a quick change in a lane, I'll just hold it down 1-2 seconds, let it go. But if I want to hold it, if I'm at a stop sign or a stoplight or something, I'll push it all the way down and just let it go on its own. So we're going to push it back up in the middle. How do you do the right turn signal, right? We're going to push it all the way up for the right signal, and it's the same thing if I want a short signal and just get over, right? Just a little bit. To hold it all the way up. Pretty self-explanatory. Alright, on the right stop, on this side, well, let me turn the wheel for you guys. All these crazy buttons and numbers, words right here, right? So if you pull it like this, pull it in, you guys notice, I'm actually wetting myself over here, but that is your windshield washer fluid. The windshield wipers automatically wipe the windshield washer fluid around to clean your windshield. If I actually push down, well, excuse me, if I actually push up one time, if you notice, just a real quick wipe. So let's say maybe a bug spiders on my windshield, or it's a quick rain, you know, I just want to quickly wipe it off without having the windshield wipers run. I'll just push that up real quick, right? If you notice, the next slot is off. So it actually is off right now. Mist, actually, if you pull in, it mist and it wipes at the same time. They're not to get confused. And this is the windshield washer symbol, right? If I push it one time down, intermittent, the windshield wipers go, give it about 3 to 5 seconds, it'll go again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You know? And if you go faster, you can put it to low. It's about every second it'll go. 1, 1. See? And if you go on high, one more to click down. It goes pretty fast, right? And this is for heavy rain, of course. Newer vehicles, there's a knob that you actually twist back and forth to control the speeds. I'm going to push it all the way back up and let it stop. Alright, next guys, got your horn. If you notice, most vehicles have their horn symbol either down here or they have it right up here. What you see right here, it says SRS airbag. The airbag is actually located right behind this. If you simply just want to use your horn, just tap it. Horn, right? You want to hold it, it's up to you. In the case that you ever get into an accident, this part, there's little indents right here. Can't really see them well, but it will rip here, and rip here, and then the airbag will deploy in your face to protect your face from hitting this wheel to prevent serious injuries. You also notice if I go over here, it says it here as well, SRS airbag. This airbag right here is for the passenger. If someone were to get hit here and they didn't have a seatbelt on, they go forward, that airbag will deploy, break this plastic, prevent them from sustaining serious injuries. Oh yeah, we almost missed this right here. Just a little coin holder, nothing special. It actually can come completely out. If I pull it, you guys can see those wires I was talking about earlier. That detaches from here if you need more leverage. Yeah, all the wires. Fire this baby up. Let me put this back. Come on, get in there. Alright. It's pretty much a Lego. It literally pops out, pops back in. On this side, if you noticed, lock, ADC, on and start, right? So in a lock function, when the key is not in ignition, on the other side you guys will see the light illuminate to show you that security mode is on. If you put this in here in the lock position, the car will alert you that the key is in the ignition. If you turn it on, if you turn the key to the right one time, the ADC, you notice your power accessories are on, right? But that is it. So nothing down here works. Just simply power from the radio, right? In case you want to listen to your radio and you don't want the car running. Well, let me actually plug in my cord. This is actually an Apple CarPlay system made by Boss. I'll explain the functions of this unit because that's a whole different video. But I wanted to do anything on here, play some music, simply just, you know, put it in, blah, 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 right? If we go back here, and we turn the click one more time to on, that's your accessory mode, right? That is where all your lights are functionable, right? Everything that we've worked with earlier. Windshield wipers and everything is functionable, even the AC, right? No, not the actual AC, but the fan itself will blow. You know, you have to have the car running for cold air. What in the world? You know, scared me. Get out of here. Ah! Get out of here. It was a moth. Thought it was trying to eat me. I'm sorry. Alright, we going back. Alright, and finally, guys, if you don't have push start, That last one right there is the start. So if you hold it and let it go, the car will actually run. Here's a trick. Don't turn it to start again, because if you do, your starter will make a weird noise. You can actually burn out your starter. So once the vehicle's on, you don't turn it to the right again. If you ever want to turn it off, you turn it all the way back to lock right here where my thumb is at, and you take the key out. All right? Now that our vehicle is running, if you notice, it says airbag light right here. We'll go from the right to the left. Now when it says airbag, that actually means that the airbags are actually functional on both sides, 1 and 2, but there's no one in the seat. So because there's no one in the seat, this light does not illuminate and the airbag is not on, right? Now if the airbag was completely off, sorry guys, my phone actually went off and I totally forgot. So we gotta go back under the vehicle, excuse me, under the wheel, move the mask. Hope you guys are actually all staying safe, by the way. Under here is your cruise control. I almost forgot about that. And if you look a little further down underneath the wheel, you will see this little button thingy here. If you push it down like that, it's loose, right? This controls how high up or down the steering wheel is. Steering wheel adjustments, you know, they're manual. You don't have much adjustments, at least not for 07, but it's good enough. You know, I typically like to drive in the middle because I like to see my actual tachometer, but I also like to see straight across here. I don't like it too high up, because if I drive at eye level like this, and it covers up my speed, so I have it just enough here. And I'll go into here, and feel focus. Go into here, grab this little thingy, and pull it right back up to lock it in place. And your steering wheel is good to go. Going back here, this is your cruise control for most Toyotas and Lexus. You know, they're all typically the same thing. If I push this button here, on or off, right? So I'm gonna push it in, and the cruise control light comes on in green all the way in the corner right there. If I push that button again, it automatically goes away. So in the case that you're driving, right, you'll push this button in. That symbol right there is simply just your cruise control symbol. This right here is to actually set it at the bottom. Resume here. And if you notice, right up there it says cancel. If I was doing 65 miles an hour and I wanted to set my cruise control so I didn't have to drive myself, I'll simply just push this on. It's on here. I would get the car up to 65 miles an hour, driving acceleration pedals there, brake pedals there, by the way. And then I would grab this. You don't have to grab with 2 fingers. It's just for demonstration purposes. And I would set it once I get the car to speed to 65 miles an hour. If I wanted to speed up or slow down the vehicle from that point forward, my foot does not need to be on the pedal. I can simply speed up the car by pushing the bottom up. So 66, 67, 68. Or if I want to go back down to 65, I can grab the top of it and go down. 68, 67, 65, right? And the vehicle will drive from there. If I want to cancel the cruise control, because yes, your car is driving by itself, but let's say you need to slow down, you can either A, tap the brakes here, 1 tap like that, or B, you can grab the back of it here. You'll feel a little groove right there for your little thumb, and push forward. So I'll do it from the front of the vehicle. If I'm driving and I want to cancel the cruise control without cutting the cruise control all the way off, you'll just grab the back of it where you see that indent. You'll feel the groove. You just pull forward towards you, right? Boom. Now if you want to resume and actually have your cruise control go back to 65 and you still have your cruise control light on, you just simply grab the bottom, you just push back up to resume. The car will bring itself back up to speed of whatever you have it set for initially. If you want to completely cut off your cruise control, you don't want it actually resume, cancel set or anything like that, just simply push the button on the side and cruise control goes off. This right here is your hazard lights. If you have an emergency, you need to pull over, or you just need vehicles to either locate you or for other vehicles to see you to prevent another accident from happening, you can just push your hazards. And what that does for you is it illuminates both lights at the same time, whether you're in the front of the vehicle or in the back. All right, all four of your turn signal lights will actually blink. You can push it again to cut it off. So this right here is your AC button, air conditioning, right? If you notice, I push it in or out, there's no light that comes on. Why? Because the fan blower is actually set to off. But if I cut it on one click to low, medium, high, you actually notice the change in the exhaust that actually has the engine working harder to actually supply me with cold air. All right, so that is for the AC. Now, what if I want to just use hot air, turn it this way, or if I don't want AC at all, I just push this button and it actually cuts off the AC. Still has the fan blowing, you know, hot or cold air. It's just not AC conditioning air, where the Freon is actually supplying cold air for you. I'm gonna cut this off. This right here is your circulation button, right? So when you push this, the air that is actually in the car is the only air that's gonna circulate. The vehicle is not pulling air from outside of the vehicle inside, so you're not getting fresh air, you're just recirculating. If you want this off, you just cut it off, the light goes off. Now if you notice down here, guys, it says max AC, use this circulation button. For max AC, you do want to use your internal air because it already has air in here. It actually blows harder than actually trying to pull air from outside. So that's why you would want to use max AC with this on. If you notice here, we have our different controls on where the air is being directed to. So if I turn it down here, my air is only blowing from my 4 vents here. So 2 for the passenger, and then 2 for me. 1 here, 1 here. If I want air to blow in all 4 directions, including down below, you'll turn it here. And in this Toyota model, I actually have a vent we're in between my pedals right here. And on this side is actually a vent. Let me see if I can actually get it for you. Right, where did it go? Right here. So right here is a vent. See? And that is for your foot control. So your feet can stay warm or cold. It's up to you. Right here, oops. If you just want the air to blow on your feet and not in your face, you can turn it up here. And right here, if you want the defroster, and that's what that symbol and that symbol means. If you want air to blow from the windows or to your feet, you can have it set there. Or if you simply want the air to blow straight to the windows, have it set there. If you guys remember earlier, the defroster vents are here, here, and here. Newer vehicles, they'll have rear defrosters, and the symbol would actually be different. It won't be a front windshield, it'll actually be a back windshield that defrosts the back windows as well. Right here would actually be my clock. My clock doesn't work. I actually have to get it fixed. But if I ever needed to adjust the hours or the minute, H is for hours, you just push it, and then M is for minutes, you just push that there. Further across, it's my glove box, nothing extraordinary. Tissues, lotion. The factory manual, oh man, this is old as crap. And then my registration and stuff there. Over here, same controls except that you only have one for your door. Lock, unlock. Yeah, so nothing too crazy there. If I had my actual light here where my rearview mirror would go, you would actually see 2 lights there, and those are called your map lights. So that way, if you don't want this middle light right here on, you can cut that off, and you'd have your map lights for your driver's side and your passenger side here. Oh, do want to show you guys something else. So, little cheat right here. If you guys ever have sun hit you right in the middle and you can't get the sun shade or the sun visor over there, you simply just detach it here. Sorry for the dirty mirror. You see that right there? Newer vehicle cars would have an arrow pointing that way, and all you simply do is just push it out, but this one does not do it. Or if you have sun hitting from this window, you can just literally slide this over here. Now in my Buick, it actually does have an arrow that will allow this to extend all the way out further to this point, and that way if you do have sun hit you in the middle, in between here, you can actually extend this out here and vice versa. So if you guys ever notice that little triangle, then you know that yours is actually adjustable. Alright y'all, so that's pretty much it. I think I went in depth on every button that this vehicle has, at least for the front. This video is actually going to be too long if I go under the hood and show you guys the basic things that you guys need to know under your hood. But we can make another video on that, another car talk. As usual, you guys make sure that you guys like and subscribe to NotTheReal_Will Smith on my YouTube as well as my Instagram. Oh look, my champ is here, my buddy is here. Also, there is a giveaway going on. The very next video or the video before, if you guys have been following me, will explain that I'm having a giveaway for 500 subscribers as opposed to me doing it every month now, because I was trying to find something different, just to do something different and to see what would excite the fans. I just didn't want to be boring, and do the same thing. $100 giveaway, $50 giveaway, even though it does help someone in need. So you guys stay tuned for that. We forgot one more thing. So here, typically be a lighter fluid, a 12 volt. I actually don't smoke, so I actually use this instead. The shifter right here, because my car has been updated, you would typically see park, reverse, neutral, drive, I think L1, L2, or just 1 and 2, right, for low gears. Simply the same setup, except that because of my tune, when the car is in drive, I can actually drive it in L1 or 2, and I don't have to do anything. So I want to explain this to you because typical Corollas does not have that. As usual, love you guys. Stay blessed. Wear your mask. Wear your mask, right? And stay tuned for next car talk. Episode 3. Love ya.